Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my video. Climate change is always a popular topic to discuss today. It can be caused by many things, human factors, environmental factors, and even the plus climate changes can also make a difference. Investigating climate change events can make us easy to predict the future trend of the climate change. So today we are going to talk about the climate change happened in the last Triassic Carnian pluvial event. To make the name simpler, I will define the event as CPE later in the presentation. CPE happens around 251 to 201 million years ago. Some people think that this climate change has a lot of things to do with the greenhouse gases emitted by volcanic eruptions in Mongolia, large igneous province. CPE also dramatically changed the hydrosphere and atmosphere. One obvious example to observe is that the past major biology cycle has something to do with the emission of the carbon dioxide. And we all know that carbon dioxide takes up majority parts of the greenhouse gases. So through the emission of greenhouse gases from volcanic eruptions, the hydrosphere has totally been changed. The most significant change during CPE is that hydrological cycle has been enhanced, and the consequence of it causes is the increased scale of the river and sea. The increased number of suspended material in ocean. For the atmosphere, before the CPE happened, the environment is dry and the temperature is not that high. However, after the CPE, the environment became humid and the temperature increased. We also define this phenomenon as the result of global warming. Since CPE is a global climate change happened in the last Triassic event, since this is one of the two largest life cycle between the creature extinctions. It also radiates some important marine and terrestrial creatures in extinctions like calcium creatures and dinosaurs. During CPE happens, I think ice elbow effect causes an effect on the climate change. Since we learned that when the Earth is covered with ice, the emission of carbon dioxide increases and volcanic movement will still happen, which would also enhance the greenhouse effect. This effect perfectly matches the climate change after CPE. There are two indicators that shows a climate change happens during CPE happens. One is the existence of amber deposit. Scientists claim that the existence of amber has something to do with the environmental suppress to cope with such humid soil environment. Plant had no choice but to produce more amber. Second of all is the frequent change in negative carbon. We can see that it might, because of the strong volcanic movement in Mongolia, large igneous province. One obvious similarity between the late Triassic and nowadays is that the global warming is still happening. We can see that from the picture given in the lecture PowerPoint, that now the atmosphere and the oceans of the Earth are still warming, and the carbon dioxide emission still takes majority part of the greenhouse gases. But one difference is that now the volcanic eruptions become less and less compared with the past. Even though CPE let us know what is causing greenhouse effect and what can cause greenhouse gases, however, it's still too large to investigate this phenomenon using our current understanding on weather system. The investigation has included too much proper nouns and complex diagnosis. Lastly, there is my reference of research and my reference approaches. Thank you guys for watching.